And I look at Mossy. Really? Oh, so that's how you're going to play it. You going to do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that. And it became personal with me.
What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Little. Big Nick the Quick with me. NFL Week 7. It's a doozy. There's a lot going on. A lot of big finishes. Me and Nick the Quick was wagering. We were talking all day in the group message. We're going to go through that. We got Steelers, Titans. Steelers, hold on. They're still undefeated. The Cardinals, Seahawks last night was a thriller. Had a little bit of everything. Baker Mayfield bounced back through 5 touchdowns. We're going to break down the biggest games in the NFL this week. We'll talk through that. Bears, Rams, Monday Night Football. I mean, what else do you need to hear? Bears are on Monday night, prime time. You know how Matt gets down in prime time. It's an interesting matchup, though. We're going to talk about that. We got Jalen Ramsey matching up against Allen Robinson. We know how our offense is without Allen Robinson. So not that he's disappeared or he's gone or something like that, Big Nick the Quick, but it should be interesting because he's a lockup corner.
Yep.
And then we'll close it out with
It's crazy. Jalen Ramsey is who you decide to mention. That's the least of our concerns on the defensive side of the ball with the Rams tonight.
See, well, then that's what we'll talk about because I don't know if that's the truth, but Big Nick the Quick, what's good?
What's going on, man?
What's the word?
Man, not too much, man. Fresh off a brutal Sunday at the window.
Yeah,
but you know we all have them, man. It happens to the best of us.
It does happen to the best of us. Cody Parkey cost me a lot of bread. I will say that. That's for sure.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of cash, like real money. And if I never hear that dude's name again, I will not be upset about it at all. So
yep.
We had a good week going into the weekend, so we were really trying to hit him over the head, but so we fared all right, but it could have been a lot better.
It was a tough slate yesterday, but not as in the end. It didn't look as tough as it looked in the beginning. But yeah,
I know we were just talking about that, not overthinking stuff. Let's jump right into it. NFL Week 7. There was, like you said, there was a lot of interesting matchups going in and stuff that seemed tough, but hindsight is like these should have been easy picks for us. Let's kick it off with Steelers Titans because I know you were locked in there and had a wager on the Titans. You've been talking about the Steelers all week.
Yeah, I know. I'm the biggest Steelers guy out there.
You're the biggest Steelers guy out there. And what made you like the Titans in that spot?
Well, originally I liked it in the pick'em because undefeated team getting points. Then by the end of the week, I think it had flipped to Tennessee laying the 1.5. But I just felt that Tennessee had been playing well. I know you're gonna be like against who, but either way, I thought they had been coming out playing well. I thought the biggest thing for them is that Hill had been playing well. So even if they were going to be tired, I felt like they could flip it back to Derrick Henry and just go on to doing what they're doing, which they did start doing for a while in the game, and it worked for them. But for the life of me, they started throwing the ball again, which I don't understand. But, yeah, I just liked them in the spot. But I overthought it, man. Pittsburgh has been probably from top to bottom second best team in the AFC, maybe the best after that performance yesterday. Everything I told you about Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame coach, good organization. In hindsight, they weren't going to go over there and lay an egg, and clearly that's what happened. So it was just an overthink, man. It was an overthink. I didn't go with my own advice. I love Pittsburgh.
Yo, we were talking about overthinking. Let's touch on that real quick, and then I got a little segment for you that we could jump into before we get into breaking down all the games. Let's talk about overthinking, especially when it comes to these games. We were looking at after the slate went off the early afternoon games. I was looking at. People were trying to convince me somehow that the Texans could keep up with the Packers.
Yeah, no way.
That I just can't even fathom how we were sold that, and I got sold at hook, line, and sinker. The line literally went down like 1.5 throughout the week. It was like 4, then it was 3.5. It closed at 3 points. The Texans are one of the worst teams in the league, especially on the defensive end. Aaron Rodgers coming off a loss. Like, it's just you're overthinking it, bro. How about this? This is what remember that attitude I hit you with I think it was a couple weeks ago. I hit your line about the Dodgers. I was like, if the Dodgers lose the series, if they go down 3-0, then I'll just pay.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I should have said yesterday with the Packers. Like, if the Packers lose to the Texans, then I'll just pay.
You'll just pay for it.
I'll just pay. That's what it is. Like, that's the attitude I need to have when I see lines like that. Like, nah, you're not gonna just give me 3 points with Aaron Rodgers going to the Texans. You know what I'm saying?
And I was on the Packers up until the Aaron Jones news came, and for some reason I don't know why the Aaron Jones news scared me off. There was no way I was going to take Houston.
Yeah.
But it just became a stay away once the Aaron Jones news came out. And again, it was an overthink because they were going to smack those boys. I've been talking about Houston all year too as being a bad team. I mean, I know the stench of Bill O'Brien is finally out the room, but no, it's probably still there. But yeah, that team is just in shambles, and obviously Green Bay, looking to bounce back. So yeah, it was a great spot for Rodgers. Yeah,
I'll pay.
Yep.
If at the end of the day comes and it's Texans 30, Packers 24, then I'll just pay it.
And you won't feel bad about it.
That's fine. Like, yeah. I ended up I was on the Saints early, but before we get back into that, and before let's close up this Steelers Titans, and then I got a couple videos I want to show you, and I want to get your thoughts on some of these next games. But like you said about the Steelers, they looked tough to start the game.
Very.
Like, they were hitting Derrick Henry in the mouth. Did you see my man hit Derrick Henry in the chest and have to walk off the field?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're dealing with when you're trying to tackle this dude all game. Like, people think I don't think people realize when people say, like, people don't want to tackle that guy. When you try to tackle him and go up head to head, you have to leave the game. That's what happens.
Well, and then by the fourth quarter, you're so tired, and he's peeling off 8-yard runs like it's nothing.
God, you're beat up. You're tired.
Which is why I don't understand. I feel like, and I told you this yesterday, I don't care if it's 2nd and 15 for them. They need to run the ball to Derrick Henry. I don't care.
Man.
Like
you said, when it's the goal line, just don't even. What y'all thinking about?
What are y'all? That second down throw? Like, what were you doing? Yeah, there should be the ball should never go in the air when you have Derrick Henry. If you're that close in, you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason. I don't understand. He can't tackle him. Oh, especially over 3 downs.
Yo, how do you know?
Again, you know how you talk about you'll pay that money? I'll pay that money with Derrick Henry going 3 downs if he doesn't score a touchdown. I'm fine with that. I'll pay that money.
How do you turn off your new school football mind versus your old school football mind?
Like, you look over on the sidelines. You see Derrick Henry. I mean,
I feel like
for you.
You turn like you're like the 70-year-old football guy and the 20, like the young football guy, all in the same person. It just depends on the situation, huh?
Who, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about me personally? No, you know me.
Personally.
Run the football and play defense. I'm fine, man. We can go home. We can go home 13-9 every week. And we're with the W. I don't need to see any of that stuff, man.
You said forget about all that, all the gimmicks.
I've been rooting for bad quarterbacks my whole life, man. So I don't need any of the gimmicks. I'll take 13-9. It works. It works. You know what I mean? It's just like in the NBA where it's like, hey, we want to go small and everything, and the Lakers were just like, you know what? Nah, we'll just throw a bunch of big dudes at you because you can't do anything about it. Now the league is game plan for these spread offenses and all that, and no one's ready for a 250-pound bowling ball. You know what I mean? Like nobody is planned for that. Your defensive tackles aren't as big as they used to be. You don't have those big hogs up front anymore. They're just plugging up holes. You got these guys looking to pass rush and all that, and they run into a Derrick Henry and it's game over.
Yeah, I mean,
linebackers are skinny. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
He said everybody's speed, nobody go for the power.
It's a bunch of Pac-10 guys. You know what I mean?
Bunch of avocado toast guys.
Yeah, yeah. Derrick Henry comes around like, nah, I'm country strong. You know what I mean? I don't know about all this. I don't need to catch passes. Just give me the rock.
Derrick Henry, 20 carries, 75 yards and a touchdown. But if you watch the game, he was locked up in the first half. I want to say he had less than 20 yards in the first half. So he, like everyone says, he wears on you. He's the second half back. Was it So the Steelers are clearly the best team in the AFC.
Steelers are just a better team. Yeah, I think at the end of that game, you just say the Steelers are the best. Are probably the best team in the AFC. They're the most complete team in the AFC for me. They just have a lot that they can do. Again, the drill with Ben Roethlisberger at this point in time.
He got a new nickname yesterday.
El Baño.
El Baño.
El Baño. Yeah.
I called him I've been calling him Bathroom Ben for quite some time since that
restroom Roethlisberger, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, whatever you want to do since that came out. But yeah, El Baño might be the new one.
El Baño. But it's not even funny, but you know what he's gonna do. You know what they're gonna try to do, man. They're just gonna play winning football. He was turning over a little bit yesterday, which he's known to do from time to time. But
he had 3 picks.
Yeah, overall, that's just a tough team to play. And but they don't get down on themselves. They're not gonna sit around and beat themselves. You know what I mean? They remain confident throughout that game. I think that comes from Mike Tomlin and just the system that he's put in over there. So yeah, I think you look at that squad. I told you last week, nobody wants to play the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, they're good across the.
They can play offense. They can play defense. They can score with you. Roethlisberger can go throw the ball 40 times if you want him to.
They're a sound football team. And real quick, and just so we're clear, everything that Ben did down at that situation in the bathroom is not funny. It's just more we're just making light of the nickname that we called him because we don't rock with Ben Roethlisberger. We don't respect Ben Roethlisberger because of what he did. We're laughing at not the situation, but the new nickname. Yeah. But carry on. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this though.
Just wanted to be clear on that.
While we're on Ben Roethlisberger,
yeah.
So 20 years from now, when your kid says, "Dad, tell me about Ben Roethlisberger,"
yeah,
how would you describe the Ben Roethlisberger experience?
On purely quarterback play, we're talking about, right?
Yeah, no, not the hanging out, not the nightlife experience with Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, good quarterback, tough, mobile,
unorthodox,
made things happen. Yeah, he's a good quarterback, man.
I think he's one of the most interesting. When you look back on it, it's just going to be I would never model my game after Ben Roethlisberger. I wouldn't watch his film and try to do what he's doing, but yeah, just effective winning quarterback that very unorthodox.
And more times than not, he makes good decisions.
Yeah.
He makes good decisions. He makes things happen. But yeah, he's a good quarterback. Honestly, there's going to be so many quarterbacks to talk about before him. I will probably never talk to my son about him unless he asked me.
2 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, he does have 2 Super Bowl rings. Him, man. Yeah, that's the one thing about the Super Bowl rings, man. You can't get around those.
Not with Ben, no.
So he's got multiple quarterbacks with multiple Super Bowl wins. The list is not very long.
And his team when has the Steelers ever been bad?
They haven't been.
Yeah.
That's why it was so crazy. They were talking about getting rid of Tomlin.
Yeah,
they were serious about that.
I'd have been come on in.
They were serious about that. They were going to get rid of Tomlin, no doubt.
I think the fans were talking that. Was the team actually talking that?
I mean, whoever knows.
They don't get rid of coaches over there, man. They get it.
Yeah, the culture is there. So,
Bro.
But if you notice, let me tell you something. If you notice, every long-term coach you've seen in the NFL has been paired with a quarterback for the long term. Don't get that shit twisted. So as much, and I know we've always had this Belichick Brady conversation, and they need each other. And if you're going to be if you're going to be a long-term coach in the NFL, you need a long-term quarterback.
I disagree. I'm gonna push back on that they need each other. I think with this Belichick and Brady situation, you're seeing that the coach really needs that quarterback.
No, listen, they don't
look at their last 2 games. They have 0 offense. Tom was covering up so many holes for them and so much lack of talent on their roster on the offensive side of the ball. Bill Belichick is wishing for Tom Brady right now. This is bad. They got dismantled yesterday at home.
Well, wait, hold on, because we're going to get into Cam Newton, so we'll talk about that then. But to close out on the Steelers, they look tough. They continue to play. They play at Baltimore next week, which Baltimore's coming off a bye. I think it's in Baltimore, I'm pretty sure. That'll be – let me check that real quick, actually. It'll be their second road game in as many weeks. So – that could be an interesting game going out to Baltimore. The early line is -5.5. But the Steelers are clearing away the best team in the league, definitely the best team in the AFC. So they're 6-0. That's what it is. And they just went on the road and beat another undefeated team in the AFC. So let's move off Steelers Titans. I know that was a good game. I was looking forward to that. It had drama late. Kickers just not coming through per
always. That's what happens with these kickers, man. Can't take it.
Per usual, they can't take the heat. Let's do this. I got three of my favorite throws from yesterday, and I want you to pick which one you think is the best one. We're gonna get into Cards Seahawks right now, so let's start with Russell Wilson.
Wilson retreating, and he's gonna throw deep downfield, and it is Lockett for the touchdown. Again, it's Lockett, and that time over Patrick Peterson.
He is so good.
Okay, that's Russell Wilson. That's weekly. Let's move over to Baker Mayfield.
You got to watch Landry down the seam. Mayfield towards the end zone. It is caught. Was he in? Yes. Donovan Peoples-Jones. Baker Mayfield taking his shot.
Shout out Donovan Peoples-Jones, Michigan man, Big Ten guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Jay Herbo. That's what they were called. Yo, I told you.
Justin Herbert. No limit Herbo.
I was on Twitter and I was looking at Justin Herbert stuff and this chick. I can't remember her at. I should find it. She's pretty funny. She's like a sports bettor, and she called Justin Herbert Jay Herbo. But here's Justin Herbert from yesterday.
Herbert releases deep down the sideline. Guyton's got a step. There he goes. See you later as Guyton walks it in for a Chargers touchdown. A 70-yard strike from Herbert to Guyton.
Any of those you want to see again before you make your final decision on best throws of the week?
No, situationally, the best throw was Baker Mayfield, but I think overall the best toss was the Russell Wilson one.
Really?
Yeah, situationally, the Baker Mayfield was to win a game. That was a game winner. But I love those drop it in the cradle. These ones, right? Where you just put your hands right there, receivers just right here, just comes in. Yeah, I love those. I think and then when you're also battling against not throwing it out of bounds, the end zone with the overthrow, because the slight overthrow, that's over with, right? You have to perfectly place that ball. You could say the same thing about the Mayfield throw too. But yeah, I love those. I love it.
You love the deep ball.
I love it. Yeah.
I'll say this. I think the best throw of the three for me is the Herbert throw. But the biggest throw on here is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, of course.
In that position to throw your fifth touchdown. So I'm going to go Baker Mayfield because if they don't beat the Bengals, that's a big throw in many, many ways.
Yeah, for sure.
He doesn't have to answer a lot of different questions. He bails his defense out.
Which we know he doesn't like to do.
Yes, he bailed his defense out because they were getting shredded. Yeah. They could not stop. Burrow had 400 yards. Yeah, so they couldn't stop that. So Baker Mayfield's the biggest throw. It's funny you say you like the over-the-top joints that Russell Wilson does all the time consistently. That's his signature now. I'm on the opposite of maybe just because I played quarterback in my life, but the Herbert threw a long ball on a line. Mm-hmm. And that's really hard to do without overthrowing wide receivers and without them breaking stride.
Right.
So that throw is to look left, come back right, and throw it on a line and have your wide receiver not break stride, and it's right there for him. Put his hands out, bang, and he can keep moving. He didn't like the thing about the Lockett Wilson throw is Lockett has to sprint under and run under that. My man Guyton just turned around and it was right there.
Yeah, no, all three of them beautiful throws, and I mean, with Herbert, man, I'm blown away by how good he is. I did not think this dude was going to be good at all. I thought this was another one of those. He looks good in a uniform, big arm, and this type of guy I want to draft but can't really play. He can play. He can 100% play. I'm still sick about what happened to Tyrod. I hope he sues them for everything. But
You said he should go get SoFi.
yeah, $80 million. He should sue them
The whole stadium.
Sue them for half the Mahomes shares. Like I was about to get that. You see what starting quarterbacks are getting? Oh, Nick Foles is getting 20
For real though.
Yeah, seriously. But no, Herbert, man, like that guy, he's got a big arm. He's good.
He seems really confident.
It just makes me sick. I put this in the group chat yesterday, and I don't care if I'm beating a dead horse. I'm gonna keep beating it the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It makes me sick to watch these young quarterbacks all make plays, all make big throws, all these guys developing, all of them getting better. Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, obviously Mahomes, obviously Watson, all the way down to, I don't know, Burrow, all these other guys coming in and just playing ball. And we picked the guy who couldn't play ball.
Easily. It was like
all ball players all over the place. Literally, quarterbacks just falling out of trees right now.
Yeah, it seems at least if they're not there, they're showing potential that they could get there.
They're getting coached. And I don't. I mean, unless Nagy's an awful coach, which I don't believe. Yeah, I mean, these guys are getting coached up and they're coming in and they're making it happen. What a miss!
It's an all-time.
What an all-time franchise-altering miss.
Don't say it.
Fuck Ryan Pace.
We'll get into the Bears-Rams coming up here pretty soon. But yeah, it is it's pretty sickening. There's no doubt.
I mean, like Herbert comes in the league just making it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we got Darnold / Daniel Jones guy. You know what I mean? And Daniel Jones might be better than who knows? Who cares? Daniel Jones is terrible, actually. But yeah.
No, Daniel Jones got heart. He got a little game.
Yeah.
He
that situation is so bad.
That situation is tough, and he continues to
fumble.
Yeah, he's got to figure that out.
He's got like 7 fumbles this
season. I think his clock and his quarterback clock in his head is it's off a little bit.
It's like Kirk Cousins.
He'd be in there chilling like people aren't coming for strip.
He does have heart though. I would still like. I think we said this after we played them. Like if I was a Giants fan, I'd be like, I'm gonna hold on to this guy.
This guy got
we put some things around him. He's got no Saquon. He's got no receivers.
Yeah.
They fuck around and make the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, like you get a playoff win on his ass. What you talking about? So yeah, we'll move off that. But let's talk Cards Seahawks. We just showed you the Russell Wilson throw. Russell Wilson's the MVP. I've been screaming that at the top of my lungs since week 2. I didn't believe in myself enough to buy it preseason at plus 800, but I snagged one for the high ones. Unfortunately, I got a little bit at low 2s, and I got even more at high ones, 175 and 225. But
oh, you did too. You know, like I did my Lakers, but
yeah, I just had to get a little more, man, because I just think it's this defense. This is the thing. What makes it so appealing to me, and I think it's literally he might win it unanimously, the MVP. He has to score 35 points a week just to be in the game.
Yeah.
That's how bad his defense is. So he's going to be throwing the ball all over the place, and he's going to have to score a lot of points. He has the media on his side. Russell Wilson's the MVP unless he gets injured or even if he gets COVID and misses a week and comes back the next week, he'll be good. So there's still time. Go get your Russell Wilson MVP ticket ASAP.
I listened to an hour. He was on Bill Simmons for like an hour.
Yeah.
And it's really impressive. This dude,
it's robotic.
It doesn't waver, bro. It doesn't waver. Like he's asking him about like fourth quarter comebacks. Like, you know, Bill, I just see it. I envision it and positive waves and all this. And like he's like talking and he's just like, I just see it in front of me, right? So if I see it, I can do it. And you know, go Hawks. And it's just like but I don't think it's bullshit though. Like I don't think it's bullshit, but it's like you should listen to it. It's hard to describe, but he really is like that. Like it's not like
it's very positive.
Yeah, it's not like he takes it off at any point. It's like, yeah, man, these motherfuckers. It's just like, no, it's just at all times. He's great company, man.
For sure. 100%. Big he'll be in the front office at the Seahawks type.
Oh yeah, he'll be able to do whatever he wants. Russell Wilson can run for president when it's over with.
Shout out Russ Wilson. But they took an L last night, and I'll say this: he played bad for Russell Wilson last night. He had 3 picks.
The end of the game, really.
Well, when does he ever throw 3 picks?
Well, I will say this. I don't know what happened in the fourth quarter with the Cardinals defensive coordinator that he started dialing up all this pressure.
Yeah.
But when that pressure started coming, I mean, at one point he sent everybody. When that pressure came in, you really saw them kind of start to struggle.
Vance Joseph, bro.
Vance Joseph was out here. Yeah, he was bringing all types of pressure. So,
and one of the plays that everyone was talking about was the pick to Buda Baker, but the rundown from DK Metcalf. I got the video here. Here's DK Metcalf on saving a touchdown on the Russell Wilson pick.
With 6 different receivers, and this time he lost one and is picked off at the goal line. That's Buda Baker. Buda Baker out in front. Can Metcalf track him down? Can he chase him down? And he does to save a touchdown. But what a play by Baker, intended for Carson. Wilson lofted it. We talked about we had
legendary plays.
First off, that was an awful throw from Russell Wilson.
He put the air on it. He didn't see that guy there, I guess.
Yeah, there's no way he saw him there because that was terrible.
Yeah, he thought it was one of those real super wide open, just I'm gonna just dump this off and it's a touchdown. But gee, I need to see this again, bro. I need you to watch DK put his head down right when he catches it, like I'm gonna go get this dude. Like that's it. He put his head down at like the 15-yard line and he just went for it.
With 6 different receivers, and this time he lost one and is picked off at the goal line. That's Buda Baker. Buda Baker out in front. Can Metcalf track him down? Can he chase him down? And he does to save.
It can't go understated how many people in the league don't even take off.
Well, Russ even stopped.
Well, no. Russ is fucking 25 yards ahead. Like
DK Metcalf passed Russ on that. Russ was going, and then he realized, like, yeah, no chance.
But what I'm saying is the guys that are at DK, like in his spot, they don't even take off like to full sprint run. Like, even the people around him don't even take off. He takes off like I'm gonna go get this dude right now.
Right. And after I saw that, I was like, all right, let me just look up. Is Buda Baker by any chance maybe a slow defensive back?
No.
Buda Baker ran a 4.45.
Yes. Buda Baker is a beast.
Buda Baker, yeah, he had a great game last night. But Buda Baker is a flyer. So, yeah, I mean, if you look at it, just the straight line speed from Metcalf, and I'm sure when Baker felt him, he was like, get the fuck out of here. There's no way that somebody is catching me on this. There's no way that somebody's behind me. There's no way that this dude is here right now. Like, no shot. And then when he felt him, yeah, he had to just been shocked. Because that's pick 6 against 99.9% of the league.
He turned around and like looked before he stiff armed, like, who the fuck is that? Like,
yeah, he's like, what's going on?
Yeah, like
I just come off the sidelines.
Yes, like for real.
What's going on here?
I just ran by Russell. Like Russell's my last point of it. Like,
the quarter. Yeah,
if I get by Russell, it should be 6. There's just no way that there's anybody by me that could.
I want to see those next gen stats on how fast he was going as far as acceleration.
I saw it. They said it was like 22.7 miles per hour, and I think
a little bit faster than Daniel Jones.
I was just gonna say, bro, somebody might want to check this next gen stats because everybody run 22 miles an hour.
Yeah,
like Daniel Jones hit 22. I think Cheetah hit 22.
You know what that Jones shit proved to me though? 24. You know what that Jones shit just showed me though? It is true. Like even the slowest people in the NFL are freak. Like Daniel Jones would dust anybody that you know in a race. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like literally would just dust you in a race. He would leave. He would just you'd just be eating his dust.
Just athletes for real.
Just athletes. Like you don't think Daniel Jones has burners? Like no, Daniel Jones will bust your ass.
Herbert been running.
Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater, apparently.
Bridgewater is low-key slight of foot.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand that. Scott Rule loves running Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater's a runner now.
Another cover for the God.
Joe, yeah, real shit. Yeah, Teddy Two Gloves, another cover.
Every time he covers, they need to have that. Did you ever see that video when he went back to his hometown and he's like strutting with the band and shit?
Yeah, I have seen that.
Whenever he covers, that needs to be played. He's like walking, he's like, I need to play that whenever Teddy covers.
Teddy. Just no one ever has faith in him. So the line's always too big, and they go out there and get W's.
Well, speaking of that, though, I know we want to talk on this game just real quick because I looked this up. I asked you yesterday.
Yeah.
So I pulled this up the other day because I was kind of interested because, I love the Cardinals and I want to see where they land in this. But since 2018, against the spread trends, so the best records against the spread in the NFL since 2018. So total 2018, total 2019, and then so far this year. Number one, no question, Kansas City Chiefs have covered 67% of their games. So you were talking about this yesterday in the group chat. We need to just take Kansas City every single week and just keep it moving.
No, Matt, don't. You do all your studying. You rack your brain. You study all these matchups. Blindly take Alabama, the boys from Tuscaloosa. No matter the number, don't rack your brain on what it is or where they're at. If they're at Tennessee, if they're at wherever, bet on Alabama, bet on the Kansas City Chiefs. Every single week, don't even look at the line. Over the long term, you're going to make money. If Patrick Holmes is the quarterback and Andy Reid is the head coach, bet on the Kansas City Chiefs. If Nick Saban is running the Alabama Crimson Tide, bet them.
So
That's
Alabama is actually 54%.
That's still winning.
In that time period, which is still winning, still good, but not as high as I would have thought. But so in the NFL in that same time period, right? So we know that Kansas City's number one. Who do you think the second best team is against the spread? Top three and bottom three.
Top three and bottom three. So the
Chiefs. So San Francisco's. I mean, the Chiefs are far and ahead. They're 7 percentage points ahead of the next team.
And then the next team might be the Cardinals.
They're third.
Okay, so
I'm not crazy. I told you I'm not crazy.
Number two is I'm gonna go Rams.
Nope.
The Niners.
Nope. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
And then third is the Cardinals. All right, bottom three.
The Bears.
Nope. The worst team. What team since 2018 has covered 34% of their games?
Oh my
This is
God.
easy. It's the worst team. Yeah, the Jets. All right, second worst.
Yeah, and bet against the Jets. The Jets. It has to be the. It's not the Bills.
No.
It's
The Bills are actually pretty good against this. Bills are 50% even.
okay. So the Jets.
The Jets covered 34% of their games since.
Okay, who else? Give me the other two. I don't even know.
Jacksonville is the second worst. The third worst is interesting because I think this is a team that for the past 4 years has gotten better lines than they are as a team, and they're against the spread record shows it. If I would just tell you who that is, who do you think is getting lines based off reputation, but everybody knows they're flugazy and not covering?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Nope, the Atlanta Falcons.
I was gonna say Notre Dame, Dallas Cowboys, and
Atlanta Falcons have covered 38% of their games in the last 3 years.
Wow.
I think they're getting favorable lines. They're getting lines that make people think like they're a contender, but it's a trash team.
It's because of the offensive weapons they've had for a while now.
That don't cover the spread, apparently.
People like people that score points, and they've, over the years, have been able to score points. So people gravitate to that and want to bet on that.
No, your college ones are Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Kent State. Take it to the bank. Kansas State has covered 67% of their spread since 2018.
What's his name? What was that old white dude he just left?
Schneider?
Yeah, bro. Run the ball.
He knew the number.
Yeah, and he always played like Texas, Oklahoma, and tough. So yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's
So bet the Chiefs.
Yeah,
67%. Yeah. You can literally bet $1,000 on the Chiefs for the entire NFL season every week, and you would make it be a great investment.
Yes, you would be cashing out.
You'd be cashing out.
You would be cashing out. You'd have big supplemental income.
Play the 17-week game. You're good to go.
Exactly, dog. Yep. Real shit.
You really could just $1,000 on the Chiefs every single week.
Yeah, just blindly. Don't rack your brain. Just take it, whatever the number is. I'll give me the Chiefs.
Yep.
Is it snowing in Denver? Give me the Chiefs. I don't care about none of that other shit.
Give me 4 month.
Chiefs. What you on today? Chiefs.
Who
you got today?
I'm on the Chiefs. I'm on the Chiefs in Kansas State. What do you mean? Hey, everything is in Kansas. KC Mo, the whole Kansas, Missouri area. That's what I'm betting on, man. Give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs and the fucking what are they? Wildcats over there.
Wildcats, bro.
Josh Freeman.
Oh, shout out Josh Freeman. Wow.
Josh Freeman made me a lot of money. Do you remember my Josh Freeman run?
Oh my God, Josh.
I went on an epic Josh Freeman run for like a year. Josh Freeman was covering
if y'all don't know who we're talking about, go look up curly-haired Josh Freeman.
Tampa Bay. Curly hair, big boy.
Former Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Yeah, shout out Josh Freeman, man.
Shout out Josh Freeman, man.
That was the Raheem Morris years. Josh Freeman.
Shout out Toby on the comment. We're about to get into Bears Rams here in a second, bro. We're about to just finish this NFL talk and we out here. Let's hey, but real quick, let's close this. The Cardinals, excuse me, really impressive, hung tough, did what they had to do to get that W. They moved the ball late. Kyler Murray. Did you see when he smiled at
Yeah. Like he plays with so much. He plays with so much confidence.
Yeah, he does.
Like we talk about all the time. Like you want to talk about crazy confidence. He's got the headband. He's got the hair. Kyler Murray plays with so much confidence. That's why I love him in the backdoor cover because it's never over with him.
He smiled yesterday at Hopkins like I got him one-on-one and let it go. I should have grabbed that video, but Kyler Murray. 34 of 48, 360 yards, 3 touchdowns last night.
Yeah.
To win the game. So it's a big time performance on national TV.
Good player.
Good player. Young guy.
Another young quarterback wrecking the league.
Another young quarterback doing his thing. So
yeah.
That was an awesome way to close Sunday. That was probably one of the most exciting games.
Wait, so you should draft quarterbacks who did well in college?
I mean, yeah, you should look at the film.
Oh man. Kyler Murray had film?
You should watch the tape.
His film wasn't against fucking NC State at the halftime of a basketball game?
You should watch the film before you get the quarterback. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I said this about I might actually I can't even get into it. Let's move over to Cam Newton because we kind of went off on a tangent a second ago about Cam Newton, about the Patriots. You're saying now that you see what's going on out in New England, you would lean towards Brady was propping up Belichick more than people realized.
I don't know if this is a matter of prop up. I feel like Belichick was very dead set on trying to show people he could do it without Tom Brady, but that's ignoring the fact that this team doesn't have any offensive. I told you, Brady was just operating off comfort. He was making things happen where there wasn't things there. He was elevating guys. He was covering up a lot of mistakes. You knew what you were going to go get. As a play caller, as a head coach, when you have that confidence of going in with Tom Brady, who you've had there for 20 years, like you're more confident. You look at them now, especially the last couple games, and I get Cam had the COVID thing. He was playing all right before, but it's not the same ball club, man. You don't feel as sure when they go out there that they're going to trounce people. You know what I mean? And I feel like he life without Tom Brady for Bill Belichick is a lot harder than life without Bill Belichick is for Tom Brady. And you could even say that they pretty much did the same. Like Bruce Arians is not some great coach, in my opinion. He's average coach. You know what I mean? So it's not like Brady went to some situation where he's with a Hall of Fame quarterback or coach, but he's doing his thing. Bill Belichick isn't. They got smacked yesterday, and they're going to lose. And they might lose this division. I mean, Buffalo's coming.
What you mean, might? Yeah. Buffalo's definitely going to win the division.
And don't let my man Brian Flores get his team going.
You said don't let Tua
play hard. I'll let Tua and then do his thing. Look, man, we talked about that team played hard last year. The Dolphins, they played hard this year.
The easiest futures before the season,
Buffalo,
that I didn't take Buffalo to win the division. They showed you they were a good team last year.
Last year.
They've been playing well this year. Little hiccups here and there, but it comes down to New England doesn't have any weapons. You can't win in the NFL without any skill players. They don't have any skill players. Yeah. And I feel bad for Cam because he couldn't get a job. He got a job, and the job he has is tough because he has to deal with Belichick. And Belichick is looking at him to carry the whole load across the board everywhere, running the ball,
which is what he looked at Tom to do last year. I know Tom wasn't a running quarterback, but Tom was carrying the load offensively for them.
100%. So that's the thing, man. They don't have any skill players. You can't win in the league without any skill players. They have no wide receivers. Edelman is a complimentary wide receiver. He's not. Edelman's
not your number one.
He's not a number one wideout in the NFL.
They whiffed on Harry.
So they have no running backs. They have no skill players whatsoever. Yeah. So how do you expect them to keep up with everything? Then A lot of the heat is going to come down on Cam Newton. He gets pulled yesterday. This is Jeff Garcia. This is about a minute long. Jeff Garcia goes on a rant about Cam Newton. I need to touch this, and I want to get your take on it as well. Jeff Garcia on Cam Newton.
You go into this game, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You throw, 3 more interceptions? You get yanked in the second half? There's nothing good going your way. Why are you dressing like that to bring more attention to yourself? I'd be trying to ask the equipment managers, put me in your jock sock cart and sneak me in the back door, and I'll show up on the field and do the best that I can.
Jeff, this sounds like you're speaking from too much experience here. Okay, this sounds like you're speaking from experience.
This just goes back to a couple years of just watching this guy and seeing him at the podium, but yet what he's doing on the field does not translate to being that guy.
Like
and
Joe
I just
Montana.
feel like,
Joe Namath.
Yeah.
He had the,
the coat.
When you
the
play
fur
like
coat.
that.
Yeah, when you predict you're going to win a Super Bowl and you go out and do it, wear whatever the hell you want. But, right now, I'm not buying it, and neither is.
Your thoughts before I go. Go ahead.
What's understood doesn't need to be explained. About that, whatever, man. Like that, it's the same thing that Cam's had to deal with his entire career. I don't think there's anything wrong with what he chooses to wear to the game. I don't think he's wearing anything offensive. I don't think he's wearing anything inappropriate. It's just how he prefers to dress. It's not bringing any attention on himself. It's just how he prefers to dress. This isn't anything new. It's just how the guy dresses, man. Like, who cares? And you are Jeff Garcia, man. Like, please take a step back. Take a step back. Realize you're Jeff Garcia. You were an average quarterback that had a couple good years that skated by off your name. You know what I mean? You just I hate that. I really hate that. And I feel like he wanted to say some other things too.
Bro, he was holding back.
Whenever I hear you start going in on that, that's so much more deep rooted. And I think Garcia is probably one of those guys where, hey, Cam Newton has a lot more talent than you. So you're jealous. You wish you could be 6'5", 240 pounds with a big arm and wear clothes like that and look good. Instead you're wearing that off the rack bullshit ass suit. You know what I mean? Even tailored.
Look, this is the problem with what
I didn't even know he still had a voice, to be honest. When you sent me a Jeff Garcia clip yesterday, I was shocked. I didn't know he's available.
I guess he's on the Niners. That was some local shit. He must be on the Niners post game.
Niners YouTube channel.
Yeah. I don't know where it was from, but I'll say this. Listen, Jeff Garcia is out of pocket because he's coming at Cam Newton as a person.
Yes.
Everything he's saying he doesn't rock with Cam Newton. Kill him on the field all you want. He threw a bunch of more interceptions. He hasn't been playing very well, but they don't have a team out there, especially on offense. But you're going to press him about his clothes and what he's wearing. It's just come out and say, I don't fucking like Cam Newton. Just say that.
Well, he even said, he's like, I've been holding this goes back a couple of years with this guy. And it's like, what are you talking about, dude? So you've been sitting out there covering the 49ers waiting to get off Cam Newton takes?
Yeah, it's just, I don't
understand. Listen, that's what he's doing. If you had a couple of years worth of ammo on Cam Newton, you cover the 49ers for a living. You've just been sitting there just stewing, waiting for your opportunity to talk about Cam Newton. Like, you're a clown, bro. Jeff Garcia I remember he was a clown when he played. Didn't he cry?
I don't know. I don't know.
Some bullshit. Or maybe T.O. cried about Jeff Garcia or whatever it was. Was that who T.O.?
No,
that's my quarterback. Was it Steve?
That was the quarterback was Romo.
Oh, it was Romo.
My quarterback was Romo, and
and
he cried after Steve Young hit him over the middle. That's when T.O. still had braces and all that.
Jeff Garcia is trash.
Listen,
I don't give a fuck about Jeff Garcia.
It's the bottom line is you're attacking him as a guy, and you're not analyzing the stuff on the field. And to try to play devil's advocate, what I'm thinking Jeff Garcia sees is a guy that he feels like Cam hasn't worked hard, and he's kind of been given this opportunity just like by sheer talent and will, and he just needs to put his head down and work instead of worrying about what he's wearing. But That's not your prerogative. Like
Yeah.
who? Oh man, it's just he attacked him as a human. He attacked him as a human.
You went on his character.
He went on his character instead of
Pretty
talking
much that
about
it's all
the stuff
about
that's
you.
on the
It's
field.
Cam's a me guy.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, exactly.
The same stuff that's been going on, and it's the same thing that we've been talking about with Baker.
Yeah.
Like Cam makes himself an easy target, but that didn't rub me the right way. It almost had some racist undertones. If you really,
that's what I was trying to say. We want to say something else.
It almost had some racist undertone. Like
I've seen Tom Brady dress fancy.
Well, you can't put Tom Brady in because he has 6 Super Bowls. But
that's true.
It's like I don't know if he would have said that about the perfect example is Gardner Minshew.
Yes.
Was getting so much love for wearing cutoff shorts and
mustache,
a mustache, and kind of like, oh, he's a Minshew mania. He's
like the 70s porn star vibe.
Yeah. Like I just don't think, and this is my personal opinion, that Jeff Garcia says that if it's a white quarterback.
No,
I just don't think he says that. So
no, of course
simple
not.
As
no,
that.
Yeah.
So
he's not the first flashy dresser in the NFL. Like, exactly. Travis Kelce dresses flashy. Let's talk about him. I see him with exposed ankles all the time. Does that make him a me guy?
Yeah,
like, come on, man. Like, the shit is ridiculous,
it's
man.
Getting out of hand, bro.
You know what he really wanted to say. And again, if he's been sitting there for 2 years waiting to get his Cam Newton takes off, I'm happy that Jeff Garcia is back in the headlines for the last time in his life.
So, I mean, that stuff is, it rubs me the wrong way, man. I'm always rooting for Cam because I think he deals with a lot of that bullshit. So hopefully they could get him some help and some skill players or something because it's going to look like a failure if he doesn't get going a little bit.
Yep.
All right, let's move over to the Bears. We could just jump right into it straight away. How do you see the game playing out tonight in LA?
Defensive battle. So you had talked about you were worried about Jalen Ramsey and the Allen Robinson situation. I think we need to get there first. And the reason I'm worried about even getting there is that we have to deal with that man, Aaron Donald. We talked about in the beginning of the year, I thought the Bears had kind of turned a corner with the offensive line. Obviously, the last couple of weeks, that's not the case. The line has looked pathetic. These guys are getting beat. You do not have a lot of talent up front. And now you are dealing with perhaps the most destructive inside pass rusher in NFL history, right? Especially from the defensive tackle position. And here you are with an inexperienced, unproductive offensive line that has not played well. That is the number one matchup for me going into this game, right? That's the number one thing if you're the Bears that you got to worry about. It's the number one thing that you have to scheme around. That's what you cannot let happen. If Aaron Donald gets in there and starts wreaking havoc early, it's over. We watch Khalil Mack every week, right? We know what it looks like when you have these defensive guys that are getting back there and constantly putting pressure on the quarterback. It doesn't matter if they're getting sacks or not. They're disrupting everything. You're messing with the quarterback's clock. You're messing with his ability to make his reads. You're forcing him into bad decisions. And if you can't block Aaron Donald or at least try to contain him, which, again, is a lot easier said than done, it's going to be a long night for the Bears. So I predict a defensive battle. I think it's going to be the same thing on the other end for the Rams too, right? I think that our guys are going to be, if Pagano lets the boys free, like we've been talking about, I think that we're going to give them problems too, because on that end, they have a quarterback who I don't necessarily trust, right? I don't think you could poll 10 Rams fans and you wouldn't find all 10 of them that trust Jared Goff, right? So he's shaky. So for me, I think it's going to be a defensive battle. But I'm really worried about that upfront situation with my man's Aaron Donald. And that has to be the number one matchup. I don't care about Jalen Ramsey. I don't care about anybody else. The ball has to it has to get to Jalen Ramsey. If Aaron Donald's doing his thing, it's not going to happen.
Well, this is why I mentioned that. And I agree with everything you're saying. Obviously, Aaron Donald is a focal point and needs to be a focal point because he's that guy, right? The Bears are averaging, and I agree with you on the defensive stuff. Let me go through a couple of numbers here because I think it's going to be defense all over the place. Bears average 4.8 yards a play. That's tied for the 4th worst in the league. Passes to, and this is why I brought up Jalen Ramsey, because this is why I think this is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's our biggest, just like we've been saying, extend A-Rob, extend Allen Robinson, we've been screaming that because He's our only weapon on offense. Simple as that.
Yeah.
66 targets to Allen Robinson, 7.2 yards per. Passes to all other receivers, 164 targets, 5.8 yards per. Rushing plays, 140 carries on the year for under 4 yards a carry.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. On top of that, the Rams have a good rush defense with Aaron Donald leading the way. So if we can't run the ball, which we don't like to run the ball and have not been very effective running the ball, and if our number one weapon in Allen Robinson has a matchup against one of the better corners in the league, big physical Jalen Ramsey, then it all leans towards a defensive slugfest, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But you think Donald is more important than Ramsey. That's why I brought up Ramsey, because that if we can't run it, we got to throw it. Yeah. And if we're trying to throw it and our favorite target is Allen Robinson, he's getting locked up or having trouble, then what do we do after that?
Well, if we're trying to throw it and our quarterback's on his ass, what do we do? What do we do after that, right?
Yeah.
So, I get where you're coming from. I just feel like you got to win that war up front first. You got to win that war up front. You can't. Yeah. So I think that should be the number one focus. The number one thing that they're game planning for is the fact that man has plans to be in the backfield, and you got to do something about it. Because again, this offensive line is weak right now. Right. This is a weak offensive line. It's the weakest point of our team, and we have Nick Foles at quarterback. So
right.
And
I will say this: the Los Angeles Rams have 4 wins.
Yeah.
Do you know who they are? I'm not gonna put you on the spot like that, but they're all 4 are against the NFC East.
There you go.
So they haven't been beating up boys that are any good to get where they're at now. So, and we know the story with Goff. Put some pressure on him, and he's gonna fold up.
He's gonna fold up crazy.
The quarterbacks in the league that if you put pressure on, they fold up. Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff. Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff.
Goff.
That's it. Nick Foles doesn't fold up, but you put pressure on him.
Right.
Jared Goff, we've seen it with our own eyes multiple times. If he starts feeling pressure, especially early, he's out of whack. He's such a rhythm guy.
He's all rhythm. If everything's fine, he's going to hit his targets. He's going to make some big plays. But yeah, you throw him off his rocker, which again is what the Bears are good at doing. Fangio, I keep saying Fangio, man. Pagano's got to bring that pressure, big time.
Yeah. Speaking of Fangio, if you remember the last time the Bears got the W over the Rams, 2018, that was when the Rams were the high flying O.
And then they came to Soldier Field and quit.
They were scoring like 30. They were scoring like 30 plus a game, and then they
went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. And they came into Soldier and got beat up, and Goff got beat up, and we were on his ass. I want to say,
and he hasn't been good since that game.
Yeah, we won that game 15-6.
Yeah.
So we could beat these dudes up. We've done it before. We've seen what Goff can do. How do you think it plays out, though? Like, how do you actually think it plays out? Can we get the win?
21-17 Bears.
21-17.
So my bet was the under 44.5. Yeah, I'm heavy on. I like the under. I'm not. I don't bet on Bears games, but yeah, I love the under.
Why don't you bet on Bears games? I always have this conversation.
An over under wouldn't bother me as much, but then you still can find yourself in a situation where you might be rooting against them. But I don't want to root against them, so I'm not going to bet against them. And I watch too many Bears games to ever, in good faith, put money on this team.
You just
stay away. Yeah,
just stay away.
No side of it is fun for me.
Yeah, it is.
But I do like the under, though. I do like the under. I like some 21-17 football. I don't see a high flying game. I don't see
none of that.
21-17.
I said earlier that the Rams have a solid rush defense. It's not that great. I think it's like lower teens, like 18, 19, 20th in the league on the rush defense. But we have the worst rushing offense in the league, where we're down at the bottom of the barrel, like 28, 29. So it's kind of like, maybe if we commit to it and can get it going, then we could pick up some yards. But
aren't you the one who said stop talking about Matt Nagy committing to the run game? He doesn't want to do it.
He doesn't want to.
Yeah, so let's just not even talk about that.
I haven't said that this year, but was that last year or 2 years ago?
I thought you said it like 2 weeks ago, but
yeah, but no, I mean he doesn't. Bro, I don't know how many games we need to see.
It's just not what he's it's not what he's trying to do.
He doesn't want to run the ball
unless it's really working. He's not trying to do it. So,
and if he's running the ball, it's fucking jet sweeps.
Oh, it's CP84.
Yeah, and get CP84,
Yep.
and it's like goofy stuff like that. So, shout out Kid Idell one in the comments. He said special teams needs to show up today. He's talking about CP. We need to get CP on the punt return. Can we talk?
I don't know why. Yeah, and if I watch Ted Ginn carry the ball like a loaf of bread one more time.
Don't disrespect Ted Ginn.
And I love Ted Ginn. World-class speed, man. He's still in the league. Shout out Teddy Ginn. Shout out Teddy Ginn. Teddy Ginn, Troy Smith is still one of my favorite Ohio State teams of all time and college football teams of all time. Shout out Troy Smith. I'm still a believer. It's not over with for Troy Smith. Someone should sign him.
So he coming back?
Come back.
Heisman Trophy winner. If I was him, I would carry that around everywhere I went.
Give me Troy Smith and Dennis Dixon, and I can get you some victories.
Come on, G. You showing our age right here. We showing our age. Then nobody's gonna know what we're talking about.
Brad Banks.
Brad
Banks, Hawkeye legend. Baby.
Shout out Brad Banks. That's funny, man. So you got 21-17. I think the Bears lose tonight. I'm gonna keep it 100. I know it's we Chicago guys, and we talk national and talk Chicago stuff. I think the Bears lose tonight purely off one of our biggest weapons is going against one of the biggest corners and best corners in the league in Jalen Ramsey. We don't like to run the ball, and if we have to throw the ball a bunch and Allen Robinson's dealing with some good corners, which he will be, I don't think we score enough points to win the game. Unless we get a special teams touchdown and a defensive touchdown, I just don't see the Bears going on the road on Monday night and beating the Rams. So unfortunately, I'll go 24-17.
So you're still on the under too.
Yeah.
So the under is the play.
I'll go 24-17 Rams.
The under is the play.
If we need to get off to a good start.
Yeah.
Like forget all we start so slow every game.
We finish better than any team in the NFL.
Yeah, but we finished strong. Let's get out to a good start so we can at least. I mean, we got off to a good start defensively last week. We were all over Carolina, and that set the tone.
Yep.
We need to come out just like we came out against Carolina. We need to come out against the Rams tonight, and we'll be in good shape. No doubt about that. Who you pick to click? See, you would say Allen Robinson, but that's the thing.
Give my boy
pick the click.
Akeem Hicks. I'm going on the defensive side of the ball.
He's baby Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I'm going on the defensive side of the ball. Akeem Hicks. Big game for Akeem Hicks tonight. Who you got?
I got Kyle Fuller. Just because he's the best player on the defense.
There you go. Sturdy.
That boy's sturdy every week.
Sturdy. That's the best word to describe him.
Is that a hot take? He's the best player on defense?
No, I don't think so. I think
you would agree with that?
Yeah, I think
that's kind of a hot take, huh?
Khalil Mack is still our most when he's on impactful defensive player, but from down to down, it's Kyle Fuller. Yeah, no one does more for our defense from down to down than Kyle Fuller. I think if you really want to go into it, Akeem Hicks might be the second most important player. You saw what happened when we lost him last year.
Bro,
the defense fell apart last year without him.
That's
literally fell apart.
That's being nice.
He should send that film to the Bears with the blank check. Say, if you want me to show up in LA tonight, and my flight to California is delayed. But a check.
I need you to fill this in.
A check could help that.
Shout out. You said Trevor Lawrence should hold out.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence should hold out. He shouldn't show up next week. Whatever game they have next week, he should be like, hey man, hey Dabo, I don't know.
I'm out, Dabo.
I'm out.
Don't look for me.
Don't look for me, man. I'm good. I need the check.
So yeah, it should be interesting tonight. Defensive struggle. Man, I wish we would just go out there and do our thing. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough game. Let's get off to a good start. Let's have we get a defensive touchdown, we win the game.
Of course.
Obviously, right? That's it. Bears tonight. Tune in Monday Night Football. Shout out Louis Riddick.
6-1.
Have a chance to go 6-1. Stupid.
That Seattle loss was huge for us, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a chance to go 6-1. We'll be back first thing in the morning to wrap the game up. Me, Nick, K-Baron. We've been doing the Bears wrap, so make sure you lock in tomorrow morning for that. For Big Nick the Quick, I'm your host, Sean Little. No catch-up sports talk via Chicago's everywhere. YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. Lock in. Tell your homies. Tell your friends. We out here. No catch-up sports talk via Chicago. Bear down.